Hey, welcome back to another episode on the project here at Throttle Stop Garage. We just got all the parts in. Yay! We're finally going to get some progress done on the project. So I thought I'd do a really quick unboxing video, and then we're going to start working on, I don't know, some cleaning and tidying work to do that I'm sure I won't show. But we got some frame parts. We've got the pieces for the suspension are in. So for a change, I'm not depressed. I'm starting to get a little happy. So let's hope this is a good one. Alright, so let's get rolling with the unboxing. Right, here we are, the moment we've all been waiting for. That's just a little Swedish joke. Anyway, I'm sure IKEA won't mind that I borrowed their name. I'm not going to denigrate their trademark. I was surprised that these things actually came in flat pack. I went down to pick them up and I thought they would come in a different kind of box. Or no box at all is what I was really expecting. So to find them in a nice box, wow, that's a big deal. Woo! There they are. Over a month in the waiting. I gotta say, the oil that they use when they mandrel bend these, they oil the die that gets rammed through the middle of this stuff. And the oil that they use in this stuff, it just smells a little bit like fish. So here we go with an A and a B. Let's see if we at least have the right number of parts. Looking good so far. Kind of like Christmas. Christmas you got to pay for yourself. Also note that the material used here is not the normal kind of stuff that we all get, which is, it looks like this. This is hot rolled. Alright, material, which is what we can usually buy. These rails are made out of cold rolled material, so actually just a little bit stronger for their wall thickness. So they are. Whoa, the stank out of there. Okay, and here are the rest of the parts. So we've got the laser cut tubes coming in 2x2 that I need to put things together. So there's the 1.5 by 2.5, 1.5 by 1.5. Then I've got the uprights, the new uprights. Right, so actually a jaunty looking thing that I drew up. So that's them, plus some gussets for those. The steering bracket and the associated parts. We've got in the bags. These are going to be the locating tabs. There's a two-part affair for those. So we got one part that looks just like that. It's going to fit right over that 1.5 tube and register on 3 sides so that things are in and square. You can see the fit's like it's awfully tight. And then I have these because some of those are going to go onto the sides that already have the tube, and then these parts here are going to be those bits that are sitting free. And of course they have a bit of an odd shape to them because I'm going to wrap them. Right, so we're going to bend that part all the way around so that we've got some nice reinforcing all the way around that edge. We're going to leave ourselves an open corner to weld just because it's a little easier to do and it's a little stronger. So, well, so those are all the parts that I drew. It took a long time to get them. thankfully the guys that run the lasers and water jets of the world will actually entertain car projects still, so I feel a little bit lucky that way. This stuff is nonsense for them to do, because they're going to do 4 of that, 4 of that, 4 of that, a couple of those here and there. It's a pain. Probably the best though is these parts, right? Cut with that laser, that tube laser, the Triumph tube laser. Again, I advocate that your time's not worth nothing. So by the time I cut this specific part or this part in the garage, even with the hole saw, I mean, those 2 parts are identical in every dimension and every way. They're perfect. And there's weird angles involved and other things, and I think I didn't pay any more than about $10 for each part. So that's, I think of that as being really cheap compared to actually having to do it myself in the shop. Okay, so we're going to get started just cleaning up some of these parts. It's not terribly interesting to watch. And I'll come back and record pieces when we're ready to start tacking them up, welding them up, and getting them ready to go.
Alright, so we're just getting ready to TIG weld the caps on these various tubes. The stop motion, I don't even know if it's picked this up, but before you go to close off those tubes, I weld a little 1/8 hole in the tube somewhere. In this case, I weld a little hole where I'm going to put the other tube member in, just so that when you're welding that last little spot, you don't get any weld blowouts because of the heated air inside blowing out on you. Okay, that's those parts done. And now we're going to weld up the little support pieces that are going to hold, basically they're going to hold the whole lower suspension piece in there. So these pieces, I was trying to be very careful to get those all just perfect. I mean, I didn't want any error in terms of the height, so I had a little go no go gauge going on there to make sure the heights were perfect when I made them, and then we were just getting all those tigged up pretty. Trying to keep the heat down while I'm doing this as well, so just sort of doing one little side at a time, not working them all through. You can see that rod just goes straight through the middle of all of them, so I was real happy with the way those turned out. Now I'm just again breaking the mill scale off of those tubes in preparation for welding. You're never going to get nice looking TIG welds if you're trying to TIG weld over mill scale. So again, back to the drill press, couple more little 1/8 holes so I don't get any blow through. You just have to think about these things as you're going around the project. Packing them on, making sure they're all nice and square and straight. Working on jigs as they're going, right? Trying to figure out the best way to do this. When you're only ever making one of a part, you have to get creative with clamps and jigs and how it's all going together. Using the frame jig here just to get those edges welded up. Always trying to get in a nice comfortable position when you're TIG welding. Again, you're not going to get nice looking welds if you're upside down and backwards unless you're some kind of hero with the TIG.
Okay, it's time to get some of these parts test fitted. So that's going to be the new part of the, it's going to hold the lower control arm as part of that cross member. So I've had 2 different brackets cut. So I have the bracket that's kind of the full the full profile, and then I have a bracket that doesn't have the full profile. It's about 1/8 of an inch short. So we're going to just work on that real quickly to get these built. Here's the idea. These brackets, the ones with the full rounded profile, they are going to fit to the inside, and once I clean the weld off the back corner here, they're going to fit to the inside of that. We'll weld those all the way around the bottom, and then you can see there we've got our hole already drilled for us. It's going to be right in the right spot, and then this is going to be the reinforcement for that that part. So as that bolt goes in, that's what's going to reinforce it. Now, I suppose I could leave that part in. That part will fit in here. This piece is going to go just outboard of that and provide the double shear here for the lower control arm. So what I've had cut are these little gusset strips. Now, I could have made those myself, but this is cost me about $1 each. So what we're going to do is just round those around the corner, right, so that they reinforce, right, stiffen this edge. Now I've had just a little locating tab. Well, I drew it myself. I didn't have it put there. I put that in there primarily to show me where the center is. So now we're just going to go over to the press. I've got 4 of those that have to get made, and we're going to take a piece of pipe actually, as a die, and we're going to just hammer in that radius into those parts. So we'll do that next. Okay, so we're going to take apart. The locating tab helps me find the center. Just by eye is fine. And then we'll fit that in. Set that on. And give it all the pressure she'll suffer. Now it's not going to come up perfect there. And we can just tap that around a little bit. Of course, I have to go get a hammer to do that. Maybe I can just do it in my hands. That's only 1/8. Okay, stretch those back in and around to about where I want them. And pull that out. And that makes our little hoop. It doesn't matter if it's not perfectly in the middle. But there we are. There's one done. That other part goes in. Still going to need to be bent a little bit more in order to fit the radius, but that's pretty good. Alright, I'll let that go all the way back up now. See if we can fold the rest of them here. Try to get it perfectly perpendicular. I wish some days this went a little faster. Things to remember for the next one, right? Don't let the press go all the way to the top. In fact, we could line these up and probably do them all at once. I don't think that'll hurt anything. We have 10 whole tons, so we might as well use it. Get them lined up all through the middle. Reasonably straight. Close enough. So we're just going to fold these up, and that's going to be that. That right? Well, that's okay. As long as we know where they're all going to be, at the end of the day, that's going to work. Okay, so now that we've got that rounded hoop made, I just need to, for this part to fit, it fits over there nicely, but you can see it's still a long way away from the tube. So what I'm going to do is I've just marked the part here. Just going to come in, clamp it on either side, and then just carefully drift those over. We can adjust all of that when we're welding. But for now, we'll just put a little bend on them. The angle hardly even matters. I've got a couple of pieces here of 1/2-inch bar, so that'll be stiff enough to hold it. We're going to just set that up here. Some clamps on it. Give it a few taps with a little hammer. Don't want to hit it too hard. Got a bunch of them to do, so we won't bore you to death with all of it. Give it a bit of a wringing out with the clamp, make sure it's not going anywhere. I just get myself a one size bigger hammer. Let's move up to see if I can find one. Just gonna go with a 1-pound hammer instead of the little guy. Alright. Sand them up. Tap it over. Try not to miss. That'll do. Got them tight. Okay, there. That's all I was really after. Just that little hook right there in the corner. It's enough to bring it in, enough to weld it. Okay, I'll finish these off. We'll come back and weld them up. Okay, so today we're going to get the other brackets for the lower control arm welded up. So you can see here how they finished up with the, so you can see, they put the little return cut in them here. They still have the little locating tab on the top. Super simple jig, just a piece of tube for them to fit onto. Magnet holding it at the back. And then we'll square all of that part up first. Lay that part in. Like so, tack it on, and then we'll finish welding it up, and that'll get that bracket built. Okay, so let's at least get something done today. Make sure everything's down square. A little bit further back down the tube. Okay, that's in. It's square. A bit of a visual check just to make certain. Hang that first bracket in and we'll get this done. That's going to fit on real nice. We'll just finish welding it up. All the way along there. I left myself an open corner because I am going to MIG weld these. No reason to TIG weld this, just a bracket. So I'm probably not even in frame properly. I do that a lot. Okay, that's good enough for now. Okay, there we are, done. Got the parts all welded up. Just a straight open corner with the MIG, so it doesn't get a whole lot easier than that. No need to weave it or anything. Look, we got penetration all the way through the back side, most of it anyway, so that'll be good. Anyway, just a little bit of grinding to clean those up, and you can see those are going to work just fine for the lower control arm. Okay, so that's another brick in this proverbial wall.